Check out that store.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I killed Adam Warlock. Oh, what a great alt claw place. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, I died.
She's dead. Storm is up top. Got her. Oop. I killed Adam Warlock. Killed her too.
Minute tutorials. I don't know.
Okay, Spider-Man's one shot, and he's dead!
He's not. That's
I
crazy.
killed Squirrel. Squirrely girl. Yep. Got him. Ooh. What's going on YouTube? If you see my face on your timeline, you already know what's happening. I'm giving you a guide for a Marvel Rivals hero. Another one. The other ones were doing so much better. And if you saw the thumbnail, you know that we're finally doing Psylocke. I heard all of your requests. It was in every single video. There was at least 5 or 6 people asking for a Psylocke controller guide. And you know why I was pushing it off is because she's pretty hard to master. Compared to the other ones like Moon Knight, pretty easy to master, right? Portable aimbot. I love the dude. He's my main, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that he's pretty easy to play, especially with that ricochet mechanic. And then I played Black Widow. Pretty straightforward. I'm a previous Call of Duty player. Gross, don't judge me, okay? I'm recovering, right? I don't play anymore, so I'm a former addict of Call of Duty, so she was pretty easy to pick up. Star-Lord was a little bit of my first learning curve. He took a little bit longer just because of the 3 dimensions of movement. We went over that in my last video, but with her, you really have to not just rely on movement. You have to think about when to push. You have to be strategic, and that was a learning curve for me. So it took me a little bit longer to master her, where I felt comfortable to actually give advice on her, because I don't want to just rush out and give videos on characters that I haven't actually put time in and know what I'm talking about. So I went in, got some of those intro clips. Her playstyle is assassin through and through. Go back in, like, especially with her invisibility, go back in behind the enemy line, assassinate like a healer or someone important, and then get back and do it over and over and over again. So I found that she's got projectiles and hit scan shuriken, which was really tough for me because that's how I pick some of the sensitivity slopes on these controller settings. So what I did was eventually I found I was up close and personal in most of my fights with Psylocke because her hit scan doesn't really do much damage at far range. So this is what I went with. A lot of similarities between Star-Lord and Psylocke, but you'll see here if you watch my last Star-Lord video, it's 500 350, not 500 250. We got that 250 there because I kept over adjusting, because when we're in the air with Star-Lord, you have to go up and down a lot, so, but not too much because it's not in that full 180-degree plane of adjustments when you're fighting people. Psylocke on the ground, usually, depending on how you use your dashes, but for the most part, when you're fighting people on the ground, so I keep that a little bit faster because they're going to be closer to you. So 500 350. Again, if you're seeing 500 for the first time, you are using low sensitivity. I will explain in a second. It's not going to be too fast. I know it's intimidating. You don't like to see 500 max sense, but it's not going to feel like 500 max sense. Let me explain. Because it's not going to be that way, this is how that's possible. Dual zone S-curve. You see this little diagram underneath my face on the stream, on the recording. It's this little diagram here. We've got this zigzaggy line. Now, what does this zigzaggy line do? This is your inside of your stick. If you look, the little movements on your right stick when you're aiming is this first slope. Now when you get close to all the way out, not quite all the way out, but close to all the way out, that's what this second slope is here, and this final slope is when you are all the way on one side of your right stick. Now that's how we can be low sense and fast sense at the same time. So during this first slope, this first low slope, we gotta drop down the advanced options here. However long you want to make this, the longer this is, the more little movements you can do inside of low sensitivity. The lower you bring this line, the lower this line is, the slower your sense is actually going to be. So you see 500 at the top of the page here, 500, 350, horizontal sensitivity 500. The lower you make this, the actual slower it's going to be. So don't worry about fast sense. If you want to use these settings and you want to be competitive, just know that if you want to keep your low sense, this is where you do it. This is your actual sensitivity that you're going to be using most often. Right here is this minimum curve statistics. So I saw a few people commenting, this is bullcrap, whatever, high sense. People can't play high sense. You're stupid if you use this. First of all, you're wrong. And second of all, we are still using low sensitivity. We're on controller. We got to make the most out of our dirty aim assist that keyboard and mouse players hate, even though you barely get any in this game. You are using your low sensitivity. The only thing that this changes is that when you hit the outside of your stick, what you usually don't use to aim at players, you're actually gonna be able to hit those 180-degree movement spins, so you can compete with people that do that. It levels the playing field, so it reserves the outside of that right stick, the very outside movements, for just flicking around and flicking target to target, which is what you couldn't do if you just have a base really low sensitivity. So this makes us competitive. Best of both worlds. I said in my last video, Hannah Montana of the controller settings. So that's what is important. But this line, if you feel like this is too fast for you, I want to go through all of these and explain what they are, so that when you go and take these and copy and paste, you go into the practice range, you go, oh, this doesn't feel right. You go back through my video, see what each one of these does, and then adjust it to your own liking, because every player is different. I'm showing you what I use, and then I'm giving you the tools to make it to you, because you could be better than me, could be worse, and you just play differently. So if you feel like it's too fast to aim, make this lower. That's how you fix that problem. Sorry to be a yapaholic there, but I've seen some comments saying you don't like that, so that's what you want to do. Now, the acceleration when you hit the outside of that stick, if you want that to be faster or slower, that's where you bring that in or out. Right here, this little line right there. You bring this inward, it's going to be faster slope towards faster sense. When you hit that outside of your right stick, you bring it back out, it's going to be a little bit more of a smoother acceleration. I like it somewhere in between. You can make it a straight line, so it's like the more you press, the faster it goes. I like it to be fast, and then if I need to do a super quick flick at the very end, so I flick to someone and then I need to flick to someone else, that's what this 2-angle line does for me. That's why bringing that second point before it slopes off like that is so close to the top, where I'm really pushing my stick, I need to really get around. So that's what that does for me. Minimum range right here, this is where you want your slow sense to last. So 25 is how slow you want to make it, and then this custom minimum range is how much of the center of your right stick do you want to give you low sensitivity. So the higher this number is, the more your movements are, the more of your right stick is going to be low sense. So if you want almost all of your movements to be low sensitivity, you really like low sensitivity controller gameplay, make this number higher. That reserves less of the outside of your right stick. But if you want to, if you're cool with just using the center of your right stick input to be the slow sense, and then halfway through or closer to the outside of the stick is where you want to do your flicking, keep that lower. So that's how you adjust that. This one, again, this is where you make the aggressiveness of that slope. I think I already explained that one, but that's what these are. These I would keep copy and paste. Copy and paste. If you don't have foam on your controller, this can go higher or lower, and because if I'm not able to. No, all right, restore defaults. Oh, please no. I don't go all the way out. As you see on my controller, I have foam around my right stick, so I don't actually hit the outside of my right stick when I'm aiming all the way to the right or left. That's why I have this purple area on the outside that brings that max in, so I don't have to go as far out on my stick to reach the maximum input. That's what that does. If you don't have foam, or you feel like you have to really push out there to get this to kick in, push that purple part completely out of there. I just think it lowers your response time, brain to thumb, so that's why I bring that in to where it is. So this is the most important part of her settings. The thing that I've changed from Star-Lord to Psylocke is this 350. That's a big part of it, because I was playing with 250 and I really felt like I needed to change it through my process. So I really recommend that. But these base sensitivities, keep the same. I recommend. I keep the same. If you feel like it's too slow, too fast, go through with how I describe these and change your low sensitivity and how fast it feels right here on this curve statistics. I just wanted to go, I know I yapped a little bit, but I wanted to go more into detail because I saw a lot of comments of people complaining it was too fast, and I don't think I explained how to fix that in a way that gave them the tools to find their own sense. So hopefully it makes sense. If I feel like I need to become a yapaholic again, I'll do it in the next video, but hopefully going forward you guys see that and it all makes sense. Here are the rest of my settings for her. Here are my reticle settings. People were asking for that. I've got that green dot. Really feels good for me for every hero so far. Here are my bindings. I'm going to go over it briefly. I go over it every single video. Jump with left bumper. All right, quiet, Psylocke. I'm talking, not you. Jump left bumper. You need to have your jump on a button that isn't going to take your right thumb off of your right thumbstick. So I jump with this, but normally it tells you to jump with A. You should under no circumstances be taking your thumb off of your right stick to jump. You want to jump and use your right stick at the same time. So you're not doing this and jumping, you're doing this and jumping, so you can track while you're in the air at the same time. If you see any high level gameplay, you never see people not jumping and tracking at the same time. You got to change that. Got it. If you want to be competitive, that is one of the most important settings in any controller guide in any game. I don't know why the default is still A. Back in Halo 1 days, maybe we got it hardwired in our brain, but it's definitely something that needs to be changed, because you need to be able to jump and aim at the same time. Now, the rest of these, X, Y, and this left on my D-pad are all buttons on the back of my controller. That's why they're bound that way. I do have buttons on the back of my controller, but this is all preference. But if you want to use mine, these are my keybinds I thought I would share. Hopefully this all helped you out. If you want to see a hero do a guide in my controller settings videos, let me know who you want to see next. I'm looking at them. That's why we're doing Psylocke next. I want to get out of the DPS characters because I know y'all are addicted to playing them, but let me know who you want to see. Whoever gets the most requests is who I do next. Right now we've got Winter Soldier. He's second place behind Psylocke. I really want to do Thor. He's getting up there too. We need to do a tank. We don't have a tank on this challenge, but let me know who you want to see. That's who we're going to do next. I appreciate y'all clicking on this video. The channel's growing so fast, and something I'm thinking about doing is reviewing the top controller players VODs on their highlights on their thing. So if you guys want to see some of that, let me know in the comments too. But thanks for stopping by, clicking on the video, watching. Love y'all. Peace. See you in the next one.